Greetings, everyone. I am Pete Pardo from Sea of Tranquility. Sad to report here today a loss of another one of our beloved rock stars and musicians, Mick Ralphs, formerly of Mott, the Hoople and Bad the Company, has recently passed away. It was just announced a little while ago. I'm assuming the date of his passing either today, June 23rd, 2025, or maybe yesterday. Born Michael Jeffrey Ralphs, March 31st, 1944, in Stoke Lacey, Herefordshire, England. He leaves us at the age of 81. You know, one of the all-time great guitarist, songwriters. His contributions to both Mott the Hoople and Bad Company, pretty considerable, right? Pretty considerable. He's one of those guitar players that always had that meaty, like, emotional tone. Never a big flashy guitar player, but a guy who created many cool riffs and delivered lots of tasty solos, but more importantly also wrote a lot of really good songs with either with Ian Hunter and the guys in Mott the Hoople or with Paul Rodgers and company in Bad Company. To go through the discography of this wonderful player, Mr. Ralphs, goes all the way back to 1969 to the first self-titled Mott the Hoople album. Did a bunch of albums with Mott the Hoople up until the Hoopal, right, which was 1974, even though he was kind of already on his way out of the band at that point in time, already accepting the role within Bad Company, which basically was kind of a supergroup, right? But he appeared on the albums Mott and Rock and Roll Queen, All the Young Dudes, Braid Capers, Wildlife, Mad Shadows, and Mott the Hoople. Here I have a little compilation of a bunch of the later stuff. I do have all the Island era albums as well. But, really different kind of band between Mott the Hoople and Bad Company, whereas, Mott the Hoople are much, much more of what they consider part of the early glam scene. Definitely like an English rock band, right? But a little bit quirkier, a little bit more pop-focused at times. But his gritty riffing and tasty soloing, and like I said, more importantly, the songwriting, very, very important to the music of Mott the Hoople. And I think a lot of people would argue that kind of the spark of that band kind of left when he left to go form Bad Company. And form Bad Company, of course, he did alongside, Boz Burrell from King Crimson and Paul Rodgers from Free and Company, right? So with that very, very first Bad Company album, of course, they got signed to Swan Song Records. And right off the bat, all these great songs on here featuring that very, very meaty, beefy riffing from Mick. Such an important part of this band, alongside the great bluesy vocals of Paul Rodgers. Just a really, really great combination. Of course, Simon Kirke on drums. I don't want to forget him as well. But songs like Can't Get Enough, Rock Steady, Ready for Love, title track to Bad Company, right? That heady riffing on that, right? Moving On, even all the other stuff, right? But then albums like Straight Shooter. I mean, these were all pretty big albums for the band. Basically, Bad Company became a supergroup, right? Good Lovin' Got Bad, Feel Like Making Love, Shooting Star, Deal with the Preacher, Wildfire Woman, Run with the Pack, Silver, Blue, and Gold. These great kind of bluesy, heavy rock songs. Burning Sky. We also got Desolation Angels. Of course, Rock and Roll Fantasies on here. These guys continue to have big hits throughout their career. Of course, the last with Paul Rodgers, but here you got Electric Ladyland on here. Great stuff. All really, really strong albums. Of course, Mick would keep the band going even after Paul Rodgers left, right? The guys would still stay together. They would bring in, another vocalist, but they kept the fires going. It's funny how when you look at and read up on, Mick and his life, I mean, he basically was got pretty opposed to touring after a while. He did not like flying. He did not like the travel part of it. So, after kind of Bad Company called it a day in the early 90s, the latter period in Bad Company's history, They kind of went quiet for a while, and he didn't really do much of anything. He did release some solo albums in the 2000s, Right? He had a couple of them. One was all instrumental. But when Bad Company then decided to reunite once again, like in the 2000s, late 90s and the early 2000s, with as many of the original band members as possible, he would play some shows with them here and there, but he kind of shied away from doing it full time, and he wound up not being a part of all those big later tours that they did, certainly here in the U.S. Howard Leese would join from Heart on guitar and basically be the guitar player in the band. But yeah, definitely a very, very special player. Again, not a flashy guy, generally not brought up when you talk about those like guitar heroes. I kind of look at like maybe Mick Ralphs and like Mick Jones from Foreigner. Two very, very capable players, good soloists, good creators of riffs, but not really looked at as the flashy, hey, I'm a guitar hero, look what I can do type of guy. Never really those type of players. And I think, when you look at Mick Ralphs, made a lot of sense to have Paul Rodgers work with Mick after he got done working with Paul Kossoff, because I think even though Kossoff was maybe more of a soloist guy, but again, that whole kind of less is more approach, I think, was very, very similar. Mick was more of like played some tasty solos, but I think he was more of just kind of creating those riffs and putting together these songs. So, yeah, when you look at a lot of albums here, like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, including a compilation with Mott the Hoople, and then basically played on every Bad Company studio album, including like, Fame and Fortune, Dangerous Age, Holy Water, which is a big comeback for them in 1990, 1992, Here Comes Trouble. And then you get like, Companies of Strangers, Stories Told and Untold, and then the anthologies, various live albums. He appeared on quite a bit. So, yeah, it's a sad loss. And of course, he has not been in good health in recent years. He had a stroke a number of years ago, and I believe what I'm reading so far is that he recently passed away due to complications either from that stroke or another one. I'm not quite sure. They haven't released a lot of information, but he has been shying away from most things in recent years due to health issues. So yeah, it's a sad day. I mean, it's and such an integral part of two pretty big bands, and bands that are much beloved and well respected in Mott the Hoople and Bad Company. And I know a lot of fans of both bands are probably feeling that little lump in their throat right now today. And yeah, really good guitar player, just a solid player. Great songwriter, and his presence and contributions to both those bands, I think, just can't even be measured. Just so important to both. So yeah, go out and play some classic Mott the Hoople and Bad Company music today, and remember the great Mick Ralphs. He's up there jamming with the greats, as they all are every time this happens, right? So yeah, gone at 81. Passes away here in June 2025, either today or yesterday, something like that. Like I said, we'll get the more accurate cause of death and date of death probably in the next couple of days or so. But yeah, rest in peace, Mick Ralphs. Visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as a post. And please do hit the like button before you leave. I am Pete Pardo. Thanks for watching. Mick Ralphs. Gone. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.